Hi, Phil Lindsay here with Peep Magazine, and we're here with Steve Wraith ahead of the Summer Showdown. Summer Showdown on a rainy day, but we are in Newcastle. Mm-hmm. So, preparation for the show, the usual headaches. Has anything gone to plan?
I'm trying to grow my hair for this plate at the Customs House. I feel like tearing it out. It's been stressful, I've got to be honest. And I mean, obviously, I don't give myself much time really to breathe with all the events that I put on. Yeah. But this show has been particularly stressful because obviously we've had to, postpone it once due to the injury to a couple of fighters. And as a result of that, we've obviously lost a couple of names. Biggest blow really was probably losing Travis Dickinson off the top of the bill because, I mean, sitting at the press conference, I was really chuffed to be promoting Travis on a show, but then obviously with having to cancel it for the fighters that were going off, we ended up in a situation where we lost him. So he's now got his mandatory defence obviously on Box Nation. Obviously we wish him well. So obviously after that we've had a couple of pullouts off this show. Tom Whitfield obviously sustained an injury, as did Lewis Kamek. But we're left, I think, with 4 good fights. I picked up a copy of the Sunday Sun and read Glenn McCrory's column at the weekend, and just reading his column was, it actually made me want to go to my own fight.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it yourself, sort of thing.
But I mean, I think the key really for us is, that everything happens for a reason, and calling that show off gave Andrew Buchanan the opportunity to fight Greg O'Neill in a fantastic Northern Area derby match, and I think for us, I think that's got to be top of the bill. I think it's a fight which everybody is really looking forward to. Andy's had to wait a long time for this opportunity to come along. Greg has come back out of the wilderness really to fight this, but he's got good pedigree, so I think we're in for a cracking fight on Friday night.
Yeah, it's the local derby aspect. The best fights that we've had in the region for the last few years stand out time and time again. We're talking about Lee Mould and Craig Dixon before in terms of Fight of the Year 2013 and the possibility of that being on a future show, you know what I mean? But it's those local fights that bring that bit more with the fighters, don't they?
100%. I mean, you're looking at that as potentially another Fight of the Year contender. I mean, there's a one in a couple of weeks' time as well with we were talking about Kirk Gooden's fighting Glenn Foote. Yeah. Hard one to call because Glenn's coming off the back of a televised defeat. Kirk's coming out, from a period of inactivity. Yeah. But again, that's another fight that boxing fans are lucky enough that they're going to see in the next few weeks. So, for me, the derby aspect is very important. It does create a bit of a buzz, and I genuinely think, that a lot of the boxing public will be hoping that Andy can be lift the belt high. But, Greg's got every chance as well. It's a tough one to call. Both lads will have prepared well. I'm looking forward to that on Friday.
Well, obviously Greg's had some inactivity, but Andy's had his own inactivity with different fights falling through at certain times and things, so we know Andy Buchanan's #1 fan, that is official. But in terms of, we know he's not getting any younger, and the plan is to get the big fights, get the title fights as soon as possible, so it's like you said, that everything happens for a reason. It's like George Groves again, isn't it, where but he's going to get that title fight, and hopefully it won't be his last one.
I think, ultimately for us, the amount of fights that we've got on this show, a lot of people, especially last show we did one at the Lancastrian Suite, we ended up with 3 because of, a couple of fighters failing to weigh in at the correct weight. And I think that when you look at that, I think the people who came to that show were saying, well, 3 fights, it's not value for money. And I can understand some people thinking that, but then when you look at, posters from back in the day when Dave was fighting, Billy Hardy, that kind of thing. Sometimes there was only 4 fights on the bill back in the day then, and a lot of people were paying, the same money that they're paying now to go to the shows. The ticket prices haven't really gone up, you're looking at some of those old posters in Danny Wall's gym. But yeah, I mean, I think that, I think ultimately from my point of view as a promoter, you just want to give people, the right kind of fights, and I think Buchanan fighting O'Neill is the kind of fight that people want to see, and I just think it's a massive opportunity for Andy. I think he's had that period of inactivity, and you're right, he isn't getting any older. He isn't getting any younger, but he's. But when you look at him, he does need those opportunities. It's up to Ronnie Rowe. It's up to Fighting Chance. What they want to do and where they want to put him. But he's lucky that he's got the opportunity to fight for this Northern Area title. It's something he's wanted to do, and he deserves a good night.
Yeah. So that's the headline fight.
Yeah.
the undercard or the rest of the card there now?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been changes, moves around,
Yeah.
things like that. So, what's the rest of the card?
I mean, sadly, we lost Tom Whitfield. He's just not getting any luck. He's now going to have, he's had an injection in his arm. He's going to have a little operation, a minor operation, which isn't great.
But it's a minor one.
It's a minor one, yeah. So he will bounce back. I know he's very, very disappointed because it's not the first show that he's had to pull off. From our perspective, but he'll bounce back. He's made of strong stuff. Lewis Cammack unfortunately sustained a rib injury. Nothing we can do about that as well. These things happen in sparring. But Anthony Nelson needs a run out. We're anticipating that Matchroom will be back before the end of the year, although there's no date being confirmed yet. But the idea was to get Anthony Nelson out and get him boxing again, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah.
We do have a plan B. I think I've spoken.
You have to have a plan B, don't you?
Spoken to Mal, hopefully about getting Nella out later in the year if Matchroom don't come up. So there is a potential plan B in the offing if Matchroom don't come back. Maybe until next year. We just don't know. And then obviously we've got the debutant Jonah, again from Fighting Chance, heavyweight, fantastic prospect. I believe he's going to have some strong backing from the lads from Catterick. We're going to have a lot of servicemen coming up.
He's a very popular guy, that's for sure.
Going to have a lot of the
rightfully so as well, because he's a lovely guy, but he just looks like he's going to bring action, doesn't he?
Exactly, and we'll have a revenge mission as well. We've got Lewis Scott back on the bill again, trying to right the wrong against Lucas. It's something which has been preying on his mind. I think he's had a bad time out of the ring. Lewis, he was involved in a car crash. He's had a member of his family had an unfortunate incident. Where he's walking home one night as well. I think he's had a lot on his mind, and I think this time he will come back focused. I think he's going to have those question marks over his shoulders, the shoulder injuries and that, but he's going to come good again. I've got no doubt about that, and I just hope he comes good on Friday.
I think the word that sums up Lewis Scott is rehabilitation.
Yeah.
You've got the rehabilitation for the shoulder, but you've also got, I think he was a victim of his own success early in his career. He was knocking people out and he was just getting thrown too much, and he forgot a bit about the boxing and setting up the big shots, and then going. He's back with Ronnie now.
I think you're 100% right. I think sometimes you can believe your own publicity, and Lewis is getting older and wiser as each month passes, and I do think I think he will learn from his mistakes. There's still the makings of a fighter in there, and there's still the makings of somebody who can walk away with a title, certainly locally. There is that avenue. It's how much he wants it, and it's as you say, it's down to the coach and whether he listens to it, and whether he takes on board what Ronnie's telling him. But Ronnie and Mal Gates are two of the best trainers and coaches you can get in the Northeast. So if you can't learn from Ronnie, then who can you learn from? He's been through a succession. He's worked with his dad. He's worked with Mark Closell. He's probably picked up something from everybody.
Yeah.
And now now is the time to produce, and let's hope he produces, as I say, on Friday night.
Yeah, but as much as anything else, let's hope his shoulder's okay.
Well, let's hope his shoulder's okay, but I think by his own admission,
it will be. That's just.
I think by his own admission, it was in his mind. He came out of that ring. He came out of that ring at the Lancastrian Suite. Came in that out of the ring at the Lancastrian Suite and said, "I didn't really give it me all with my shoulder." And because he was thinking about his shoulder, and that's only natural. It's like
when it's
something
twice.
Something you take for granted. Your shoulders, and I'm sure he'll give a good account of himself on Friday. So
that's the summer showdown.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll have a bit nicer weather by that point. I'll top my tan up a little bit.
It has got a roof, Phil.
So does this a little bit. It's got a shelter anyway. But you got another show penciled in for next month as well.
Oh yes. I mean we've had an up and down situation with the show in Morpeth, where we're looking at doing Danny Wall's professional debut in Morpeth. It's never easy getting venues because we'll have to strictly abide by what the Boxing Board of Control and Northern Area Council want. Yeah, and we had a site visit with Reg Long and John Jarrett. They went up to have a look at it. They made some notes. They told me what they wanted to be improved on. I went up with Mark Hodgson, who puts the boxing rings in. He said we could adhere to what they wanted. Great, no problems. More or less rubber stamped by the board. Then, unfortunately, we had a couple of issues. The police wanted things clarifying about what it was all about, so I had to go and see the police and the council. But that's now been done, so another box ticked. The doctor, Mike Kipling, he was then concerned about the change of facilities and the availability of a room for the doctors. Mm-hmm. But now we've managed to overcome that. So it's been tough. Life's not easy as a promoter. We're certainly, any money that we do manage to make, we're certainly,
certainly earn it,
certainly,
don't you?
certainly I will certainly earn it.
As and when.
Exactly. But I mean, we're more or less ready there now. We just need the final go ahead from the board, and we'll be ready to go. But it's exciting because it's a new venue. And I asked John Jarrett, obviously he's a historian really in these parts on boxing.
Yeah.
I said, when was the last professional show in Morpeth? And he didn't know. So maybe it's a job for Peep magazine. Find out when the last professional show was in Morpeth, because I've got a strong belief that it was in the 1940s. And if it was in the 1940s, then we are really bringing boxing back to somewhere which has never seen it for a long time. So it's exciting. We're looking, certainly we've confirmed Paul Gidney, another debutant from Mal Gates' gym. Yeah. We're also looking at giving Lee Mulder a run out on that show as well, and hopefully all being well, one other debutant. But at the moment, we'll wait and see on that one. But we've certainly got those three penciled in for that show, and hopefully we'll be able to confirm that certainly by the press conference this week.
Well, obviously with the last month's show as it was, which is now this Friday's show, you can't look too far ahead in the future. You can only make your plans, make your plan B's and C's, and then
Phil, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, mate, it is tough. We're all trying to do similar things. And we're all trying to put decent shows on for the general public. It can be hard because, as we all know, politics can sometimes get in the way. People fall out with people. I mean, I'm in a good place at the minute. I haven't fell out with, Phil. I haven't fell out with Mark Closell. So peace reigns out. Peace reigns out at the moment between the three promoters, if you like.
Yeah.
But arguments can get in the way and can prevent people from going on each other's shows. So let's just try and get everybody supporting each other. I mean, from my point of view, I'm looking forward to Phil's show coming up at the Lancastrian Suite.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a cracker. As I say, we've already mentioned the top of the tail clash, if you like, between Guns and Foot. That'll be great. But there's a couple of really good fights in there. Just be nice to go to the Lancastrian Suite and not actually have to do anything.
Exactly. Well, on that note, you haven't got a night off this Friday.
No.
Any information for the guys regarding tickets and things?
Anybody wants any tickets last minute, go to www.relentlesspromotions.co.uk, or you can buy tickets on the door priced at £35. It'll be a cracker night's boxing, so get yourself down there. And Phil Lindsay will be there as well.
Aye, and a new shirt.
A new shirt. Be an Andy Buchanan shirt.
Exactly, the fan club. Steve Wraith.
Top man.
Good man.